JT, floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with a story of when I was 2 weeks old. My parents had brought me home and they're like, okay, we want to try and go out to eat. So they decided to play it safe. And they're like, okay, we'll stop at Arby's, it's fast food, we can sit down, and if she just so happens to throw a temper tantrum, then we can leave fast. So my parents order their food, they sit down, open their sandwiches. I start screaming bloody murder. I am like bawling my eyes out, my face is beet red, they are mortified. To this day, it's probably the most embarrassed I've ever been, and they always tell me that. And so they immediately had to leave, and I didn't stop crying until we were like halfway home. So that's how I used to be, and I'm going to kind of show you how I am now. Okay, so this would appear to be a teddy bear, but it kind of represents my brother, and not my little brother. My mom actually had a stillborn before she had me, and he was going to be named Charlie, and so she bought this bear for him, but obviously he can't have it, so she gave it to me to kind of remember him, even though he's not here. Next is a rolling pin. This is my great-grandma pictures. And she was an amazing cook. Like, she could bake or cook anything. And she was probably the closest person to me and my family, and she died when I was a freshman. So this is kind of to remember her. And a funny story is, like, she was famous for her pancakes. Like, she made these amazing pancakes that, like, watered in your mouth. And we would always ask her, you know, Grandma, what's your recipe so we can make these when you're gone? And she's like, oh, I'll tell you someday, I'll tell you. And one day, my mom got it out of her, and she tells her my mom makes it, and we're eating the pancakes, and my grandma's like, these are terrible. Where did you get this recipe? These are disgusting. And my mom's like, well, you gave it to me. This is what you told me. And my grandma's like, no, I did not tell you that. That is not the recipe. And so even to this day, she didn't ever tell us what they were, so we don't know the real recipe. But my mom kind of makes them pretty close to how she did. So that's just kind of a funny story about her. This is Ice Age. It's probably one of my favorite movies. I think it's so funny. Sid the Sloth is pretty comical to me, and that just kind of shows that I have a goofy personality and sense of humor. Next is a book. It's called Sundays at Tiffany's. It's one of my favorite books. I love it. It's a quick read, and I love to read. I'm kind of nerdy like that. I read anything, so that's that. This is a magazine. I just randomly started getting it when I was in 8th grade, and it kind of sparked my love for clothes and fashion, and I actually want to go into fashion retailing, so that kind of all comes back to this and starting me on that. Next is a pom shoe. This winter I joined the pom team, and it's probably one of my best experiences in high school. I loved it. I loved competing, I loved all the people on the team, and I'm really glad that I did it, and I wish I would have joined it sooner. This is a map of Michigan, and this bag kind of goes with it, the beach bag. It just represents that I like to travel. I love the city. I'm a city girl. I love the busyness of the city and all the people, and I just like to travel and see different things. So that's that. And I have a PowerPoint too. Did you get the lights going? Okay, so this is just an opening slide. That picture up there is me when I was 2, and that's obviously my senior picture, and you can just kind of see how I've grown up. For those of you who don't know, I'm diabetic. I have diabetes. I was diagnosed when I was 2.5, and my parents kind of noticed the signs of diabetes, and they're like, something's not right, so they took me to my family doctor. And my family doctor just kind of shrugged it off and said, you know, she's fine, she's just going through something, whatever. Well, my parents were a little smarter and decided to call Sparrow Hospital down in Lansing, and they put me in like an intensive program and decided I actually did have diabetes, obviously. And my parents had to like go through all the training. My grandma and my aunt actually went down there, so they would know how to take care of me, because obviously a 2-year-old with diabetes is kind of challenging. And that picture right here is me in a wagon. My parents bought me this wagon to haul me around the hospital because it's a pretty darn big hospital. So that's my dad and all his good clothing style hauling me around in the wagon. This picture right here is one of the nurses I had. I don't know who she is or remember who she is, can't really tell you that, but if you look at my arm, I got all kinds of things hooked up to me. So that was just kind of part of the program. And then this picture over here, I have a bunch of chocolate on my face. And I always say that God made me a diabetic for a good reason, because if I wasn't, my teeth would probably be rotted out from all the sweets. I have the biggest sweet tooth ever, so it's probably a good thing that I'm diabetic, otherwise I wouldn't be in too good a shape. These are pictures of my friends. Kaylee Dickman and Taylor Myers are like my best friends. We've been friends since preschool. They're my rock, and we just always have a good time together. And if you look closely, it's hard to see, but that's Taylor. We're in preschool, and she's crying. I don't know why, but she is. That's Kaylee, and that's me in preschool, and then this is us this year at homecoming. And now on to my room. My room is generally pretty clean. It depends on how busy I am during the week, on how messy it is. I took this on Sunday, so it was pretty clean then. Up here is my bed. It's obviously not made. I think it's dumb to make your bed when you're just going to mess it up and sleep with it the next night, so I never make my bed. And if you can kind of tell, there's not a sheet on it. I hate sheets. They suffocate me, and I have not slept with a sheet on my bed since I was probably in like 5th grade. I hate sheets. That's my desk. It's just got some random stuff, pictures over here. That's my nightstand, but that's actually my real nightstand because I don't have room for everything in my room. And then over here is my closet, which you can see I have a bunch of clothes and junk in there. I kind of just throw everything I don't want to deal with in there. And then this is my bookshelf. I got some important breakable stuff right here. These are books. You can see I read a lot because I have 3 shelves full of books, and not even all of them are on there. And then I have some movies on there too. And that's my dresser. I keep all my jewelry up there, and that just holds clothes like any other dresser. So that's me.
Well done, Sunshine. Well done.